Hello, it's Roger Bisbee here from the Skill Builder channel. I've had a little bit of trouble with my Nilfisk pressure washer. I love this pressure washer. It's been so good. I've had a few of those yellow ones beginning with a K. They went wrong for various reasons and I just took a spare part off one and put it on the other and cobbled it together and carried on like that, the old triggers boom syndrome, until I decided I needed to get something a bit better. So I bought this baby and it cost me about 30 quid more than the other, but I've never regretted it. It's been fantastic. One of the good things is it's got a nice reel for the hose here, so rather than having that trailing around, you just wind it up at the end of the day. And also a nice little place to store your electrical lead on here. I think it's a pretty well designed machine and plenty of power for what I do, the kind of jobs that builders do. But stupidly, I left it out in the frost. My son was actually doing the job and he kind of walked off and he left it there, just plugged in and switched on, and the hose was on and everything was on and it was solid. I took the hose off. There was a bit of ice sticking out of here. Once the weather picked up, the hose pipe thawed out. I tried it and there was water pouring out through the bottom. So I was so annoyed because I thought, I'm just going to go and buy another one. I like this thing so much, I'll just buy another one. But before I did, I thought, come on, have a look. You're a plumber, for goodness sake. Just have a look and see what's in there, because it could be something as simple as an O-ring. So let me just take you through what I found, because I've actually fixed the problem now, but I want to reenact it for you because I'm so delighted. And if anybody's got one of these and they've got a similar thing, because it does happen, I'm not the only idiot in the world, you could find that you can fix it as easily as I did. The thing I like about good design is that it doesn't just stop, it carries on through the product. So first thing is, I didn't look at any instructions for this. I just felt my way around, had a look through there. Looks like a couple of torque screws there. So that's the foot of the machine. So there's a couple of screws there. There's one and there's the other one. So that comes off, and as I say, I've messed around with the yellow ones a few times and there's loads of screws all over it, but look at this. Look at this for a great idea. Just simply clips in the top there and it comes off in one go. Already I'm warming to the subject. I'm thinking I like this, because I was thinking it was going to take me an hour to take it apart, and then I was going to find that I couldn't repair it. So the next thing is one more screw here, slightly different length to the others, and then this little cover comes off. Let me turn it around so you can see what's going on. This little cover comes off here, except it doesn't, because you need to unscrew that first. And I found that this was spinning, by the way, when I did it. And I tried to get a pair of grips on it. It's actually got some flat sides there, so you could get something on it. I managed to get that off, and then I noticed that this little baby here was pulled out. I don't know how that happened, because I can't imagine that the frost gets in there and pushes that out. So it could have just been sheer luck. But what happened is this thing had just popped out. The ice had popped it out and it was sitting in there like that. I took it out, had a look at it, made sure there was no debris in there or anything else. Got an O-ring on there, we're all familiar with that. This thing is a flow restrictor. And what I also found on the flow restrictor is that that is a filter. Now whether that's supposed to be bent or not, I don't know, but that could have been the frost damage doing that. Good idea to get rid of any debris on that filter. That pops back in there. Now on the bottom of here, on the side of there, are just a couple of little lugs, and you can clearly see where they've broken off. So I took the whole thing, turned it upside down and just gave it a little tap to make sure there was no debris lying in the actual pump itself. And it seemed all right, but I thought I need to get hold of a new one of these. And quite honestly, I had looked at these spares for Nilfisk, because I thought, okay, if it has been frost damaged and I can rebuild it, apart from if it's the motor, then I've got a chance. But actually, I popped it back in, pushed that little clip down, so that's gone down into place. And now, believe it or not, it's held it. And I don't know how it's held it, if those lugs are broken off, but it's held it, and I'll probably try and send for a new one, just in case. But what I found is that I popped it all back on, put that cover on. I didn't go any further than that. And when I put this back on and gave it a little test, not only was it leak free, but it seemed to be working better than ever. I was highly delighted with that. As I say, I will try and send off for that spare, But that's it. That's the end of story, people. Not only can I recommend this Nilfisk 160, which I think stands for 160 bar, but also I'm delighted that I don't have to go and buy another one. But if I had to go and buy another one, I would have just bought one of these. I may have just gone for one slightly larger, just because, you know, there's always something you want to do where you want a bit more power, and they do come in different sizes. That's got it. Lovely. Nothing like a bit of brute force, is there? So that's it. That's the end of the story, and for once it's got a happy ending. Now my son can get back to work. I'm Roger Bisbee. Come back and see us soon on the Skill Builder channel. We need your company and your comments.